We are what we pretend to be, so we must be careful about what we pretend to be. Those who believe in telekinetics, raise my hand. I want to stand as close to the edge as I can without going over. Out on the edge you see all kinds of things you can't see from the center. Everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. We have to continually be jumping off cliffs and developing our wings on the way down. A purpose of human life, no matter who is controlling it, is to love whoever is around to be loved. And I asked myself about the present, how wide it was, how deep it was, how much was mine to keep. How nice, to feel nothing, and still get full credit for being alive. Of all the words of mice and men, the saddest are, it might have been. Dear future generations, please accept our apologies. We were rolling drunk on petroleum. Here we are, trapped in the amber of the moment. There is no why. Being a humanist means trying to behave decently without expectation of rewards or punishment after you are dead. I tell you, we are here on earth to fart around, and don't let anybody tell you different. True terror is to wake up one morning and discover that your high school class is running the country. The universe is a big place, perhaps the biggest. Like so many Americans, she was trying to construct a life that made sense from things she found in gift shops. I was a victim of a series of accidents, as are we all. I have this disease late at night sometimes, involving alcohol and the telephone. All moments, past, present and future, always have existed, always will exist. Who is more to be pitied, a writer bound and gagged by policemen or one living in perfect freedom who has nothing more to say? Beware of the man who works hard to learn something, learns it, and finds himself no wiser than before. Maturity is a bitter disappointment for which no remedy exists, unless laughter could be said to remedy anything. A sane person to an insane society must appear insane. If you can do no good, at least do no harm. Say what you will about the sweet miracle of unquestioning faith, I consider a capacity for it terrifying and absolutely vile. Live by the harmless untruths that make you brave and kind and healthy and happy. When I write, I feel like an armless, legless man with a crayon in his mouth. Take it moment by moment, and you will find that we are all, as I've said before, bugs in amber. The nicest veterans, the kindest and funniest ones, the ones who hated war the most, were the ones who'd really fought. And yet another moral occurs to me now: make love when you can. It's good for you. There is love enough in this world for everybody, if people will just look. I'm not a drug salesman. I'm a writer. What makes you think a writer isn't a drug salesman? We are healthy only to the extent that our ideas are humane. People aren't supposed to look back. I'm certainly not going to do it anymore. The practice of art isn't to make a living. It's to make your soul grow. Wake up, you idiots. Whatever made you think that money was so valuable? Another flaw in the human character is that everybody wants to build and nobody wants to do maintenance. She was a dull person, but a sensational invitation to make babies. I think you guys are going to have to come up with a lot of wonderful new lies, or people just aren't going to want to go on living. Just because you can read, write and do a little math, doesn't mean that you're entitled to conquer the universe. We're terrible animals. I think that the Earth's immune system is trying to get rid of us, as well it should. Alright, I'll tell you what you did for me. You went for happy, silly, beautiful walks with me. Everything is nothing, with a twist. If your brains were dynamite, there wouldn't be enough to blow your hat off. She hated people who thought too much. At that moment, she struck me as an appropriate representative for almost all mankind. You were sick, but now you're well again, and there's work to do. If I'm going to spend eternity visiting this moment and that, I'm grateful that so many of those moments are nice. I couldn't help wondering if that was what God put me on earth for, to find out how much a man could take without breaking. We could have saved the earth, but we were too damn cheap. There are too many of us and we are all too far apart. To practice any art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow. So do it. Charm was a scheme for making strangers like and trust a person immediately, no matter what the charmer had in mind. I can have oodles of charm when I want to. Round and round we spin, with feet of lead and wings of tin. The bounties of space, of infinite outwardness, were three: empty heroics, low comedy, and pointless death. Plato says that the unexamined life is not worth living. But what if the examined life turns out to be a clunker as well? All of the true things I am about to tell you are shameless lies. If you can do a half-assed job of anything, you're a one-eyed man in a kingdom of the blind. You'll forget it when you're dead, and so will I. When I'm dead, I'm going to forget everything, and I advise you to do the same. Enjoy the little things in life, because one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things.